And for anyone else who's watching, feel free to type in the chat or call in to the live show on TalkShoe. The number is in the description along with the call ID. Okay. So Dominique, do you have you want to share anything or ask any questions or any ideas in regards to current events, anything?
Let's see. Well, I mean, everything that's been going on has been very high vibrational lately. From all of the shootings, the police, the fires. I mean, it's so much to pick from, but I don't know what everyone else is ready to talk about, but I mean, it's a lot going on these days, so it's never really a dull moment with that. So we can talk about so many things.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm just, people have been requesting, just a platform to express themselves and talk about their experiences and ask questions. So I'm, trying to take this moment to provide that for people. But I mean, I don't even know where to begin. Okay, I just got Tracy's chart. Yeah, I don't know where to begin because it's just so much, but because I'm better at responding.
Well, I mean, I guess, I didn't get a chance to watch the other video, but I mean, how did you feel about the responses to the video for the fires and that situation in California with the whole community basically being burned to nothingness?
Well, I got some responses from people, and it's just amazing how I don't know of any person that I know personally that knew about those fires in that way. Everybody just thought that they were just like regular forest fires or wildfires. And
right.
Yeah, I'm glad that I did the video because it clearly made a lot of people aware. Y'all be cracking up at Riley and Ryan. Okay.
Sorry.
Nah, it's cool. I'll be cracking up.
They gotta have some sibling rivalry before bedtime.
Oh yeah. I already know.
So, but yeah, I talked to my cousin about the situation that happened, and she said she did hear about it on I believe the Weather Channel, and that she didn't know that to the extent of what was going on either. But her response to everything basically disappearing, like nothing was left, none of the foundations of the homes, but it was crazy how the trees and the bushes were intact. And, her response was that, those things, like the granite, the toilets and things like that, and the frame of the homes would eventually burn down if they've been burning for days.
Yeah.
But, I mean, everyone has their own insight about that. And none of us are fire specialists, so But you know, it's just you know, it was amazing to see the trees and the shrubs and the bushes still surrounding those areas. And then directly across the street was a perfect neighborhood left untouched, and nothing from these homes were left.
Yeah, yeah. And what's interesting, because, you know, it's not like I did hours upon hours of research on it, but the few videos that I saw, my body was just like, it was just clear. Like, I got a certain level of clarity that, you know, I just kind of ran with. But after I put the video out, of course, you know, YouTube has been popping up more recommended videos in regards to the situation. And because that happened like 3 weeks to a month ago, the neighborhood that I showed on the video and that I recommended for people to watch, that neighborhood has actually been completely shut down by the military. So they've gated it, and they have the military not letting anybody go into that area. And I didn't know about that before I did the video. So once I saw that, I was like, oh, so these fires are, these natural fires require for you all to have like the whole military evacuating and, you know, keeping people from going there. Like, and then the air, right. Like you can see the gray air just still like hovering, because it's people that, you know, that were still, they were going as far as they could, which was to the barricades by the military. But, you know, you were able to see like everything is still in devastation. But the fact that, you know, it's just something else going on with that. Clearly.
Right.
So.
Well, right. I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I just found it very, very bizarre that the mailman still had to deliver to those like empty flats. Yeah.
Right. Right. And I'm sure that the houses that were left standing, I'm sure that since they have that whole, you know, the whole area closed off by the military, I'm sure they evacuated the people whose homes weren't destroyed, because that would, you know, it's just, I don't know, but it just, you know, it's just weird. Like everything is just weird.
Yeah, I agree. The whole everything surrounding it was weird, from the drones flying around, observing the mailman delivering mail, to the military surrounding the area, to nothingness being left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I have never seen anything like that.
Yeah. It looks
not a complete neighborhood.
Yeah. And even, you know, like the areas where it was just, you know, like the Arby's and the McDonald's and the Applebee's, and then this random Kmart, and the way that the Kmart was destroyed, it was destroyed in a perfect rectangle. Like the foundational structure of the Kmart it was destroyed perfectly. Like, you know, it just like, come on, like it's just, and the way you know, like the houses and the cars and the metal, the way that it was bent, it was like there was a force. There was like some type of force that came, and like, you know, it wasn't just a regular fire that just melted those things down. It's like there was a force that came, and, you know, it's I don't know. I don't know, but I've said what I had to say on that situation, and you know, people can figure the rest out on their own. But it just wasn't regular fires. I feel very sure about that. Tracy, hold on, let me. Tracy, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes. And I sent you the chart that I pulled up for you. I know it has more information than the free charts that Jovian gives you. So yeah, you should be able to see more aspects of your blueprint with that chart.
Okay, I'll take a look at that. I'm interested in the fires now. I'll have to go and look at the other video.
Yes.
Yes, it's very bizarre, Tracy. Yeah, I'm familiar with the fires going on because I'm in Las Vegas, but you know, I didn't know like the stuff that you were talking about. Burned in a perfect square and the military clothes in the area, so I find it very interesting as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting and specific. All right. Well, interesting in that way. Yes.
Well, Tracy, is good to hear from you. I'm glad that we reconnected. How have things been for you?
Very good. Very, very good. I mean, I'm moving and, my life gravitated me to human design, so I find that very awesome.
Yeah.
And that's a nice way to be navigating in these times, you know, to have these type of tools, you know, to navigate life. So really good. Really, really good. It's been a long time. Do you remember where we met at?
Yeah, we met at the Hair Healers event in Atlanta in May of 2012.
There you go. Yes, I was kind of shocked when I found you online. I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. So yeah, that's when we met.
Yeah, so how did you find me?
You know what? I would say the human design because I had a design chart done by a woman named Connor at a retreat that I went to.
Okay.
And yes, I had it done by her, and then I had it done by she taught me about it, but then there was another couple that I had a chart done by. Mm-hmm. So I started just kind of looking into human design a little bit, and I don't really remember how you came, but a few months ago, I'm like, I know her. And I felt that it was very interesting, you know, that we crossed paths again, you know, because like you said, that was quite some time ago.
Yeah.
But, you know, we connected then. And so, you know, so that's how I kind of found you again.
Wow.
The universe.
Oh, yeah.
The universe.
It's always working. Always.
I mean, I love it. And, you know, it's funny because we talked about, you know, just working together and doing some things. So,
yeah.
You know, I just found it, well, this is pretty awesome that the universe has, you know, let me to free my mind. Free my mind by design.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you for reconnecting.
Yeah, I've been enjoying your videos and just enjoying, you know, learning. So I definitely want to support, you know, the community, be a part of it. So awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Wow. So, Tracy, how familiar are you with human design, and would you say that it has definitely made an impact on your life? It has, actually. I'm not extremely familiar. I mean, like, I have maybe a 20-page report I got done. And, you know, to be honest with you, when I first had it done, I really didn't quite understand it. But there were certain things about it that I did understand. Like, for example, from what I was told, I'm a manifestor generator. And so I started to pay attention to how in my life, I get signs. And it's really interesting because just by me acknowledging that fact, I started seeing stuff more kind of animated
like messages would start coming through me, like in street signs, and and people, and just different things like that. So it's helping me to grow, and it's helping me to understand more of who I am, you know, and not kind of pull away from who I am. So I'm learning. Yeah, I'm learning.
Awesome. Yeah, those synchronicities, right?
I know, right?
Things that just line up, and everything starts to add up, and you start just getting all kind of messages.
Oh, man, yes. And just to be in tune with it, you know, it's just a whole other position to be able to play on this kind of playing field, you know. So it's helping me a lot, you know, and I want to grow and learn more in it. So, yes.
Great. Me too.
So Tracy, what was your question in regards to relationships?
I just was kind of curious, like with knowing your human design, and like what's a good way to pull that and utilizing it to navigate in relationships better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Well, what I've learned is that when I look at the relationships that I established before human design, majority of them were just incorrect. They were the foundation of them it was just incorrect. And it's not to say that, you know, I regret, you know, any of my past relationships with people. It's just that I can see how if I had human design in the past, how I would have had more fruitful and more mutually beneficial relationships, because now when I connect with people based on human design, I have a very solid understanding about who they are and what their genetic needs are. And that helps me to connect better with people. That helps me to really have a more solid way of building something with them. And I've noticed that, you know, when you connect with a person and you're not really aware of who they are, and they're not aware of who they are, and they're not aware of who you are, you have a lot of clashing that eventually comes up at some point within that connection, because the lack of awareness, you know, doesn't allow you to really understand yourself or that person to know how to have that continuity within the relationship. So, you know, we see that all the time. Like we see people like come together like glue, and it seems so great. It may feel great. And then like at some point, everything just starts to fall apart. And that's because there was no true knowing of what your needs were or what the needs of the other person was, for you all to keep that communication going and really build on what was best for each individual, which will naturally create a solid structure for that that partnership. So it's at this point in my life, you know, I don't feel that it would be wise for me to build relationships without knowing the needs of another person. If I don't know what you really need, then, you know, something is bound to go wrong at some point. So
it almost puts you at a disadvantage when you don't know what another person needs, because when you find out, it's like, okay, do I want to provide that or not?
Exactly. Exactly.
10 years later.
Right. Or 20.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and I want to say too that that it really does help, not even just with love relationships, all relationships, because it's like once you figure out the type of person that you are, and it's like you learning yourself all over again. You really don't know yourself.
Yeah.
You think you know who you are and what you want, and But we don't, and then we get into a lot of friendships, or even with family, and and it's just really not good for us. But it's because we don't know what we need either.
Yeah, that's so true. So true.
That's right.
And I can see that because I've been really looking at the human design of my children, and it's really been giving me a different. I have 5 boys, so it's been giving me a big understanding into them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really helping me with my parenting. Because I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. This one needs that. This one needs that. So it's really helping. On that regard.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Can I ask you a question while we're kind of talking right there? Can I ask you another question?
Yes, please.
Can you tell me a little bit about the gut response? I feel that since I've operated so long without being in tune to the gut response,
mm-hmm.
I always don't kind of know it, and sometimes now I'm realizing sometimes I'm starting to even have that response sometimes when I'm not conscious of it. I'm like, oh, I'm making that kind of, but I don't, I feel like I've been so disconnected from it that I don't really, does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm so disconnected. And of course, I'm on my healing journey, so I've done something to, but I feel like it's so unfamiliar,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting acquainted with my in the moment response as well. Now, for you, before I get into it, when it comes to the way you're set up, did you learn about your inner authority being your solar plexus?
Yes. I don't quite understand that part of it. I don't quite understand that part yet.
Okay. Would you mind sharing what you learned, I guess the parts that you did learn, and maybe I can take what you learned and add to it?
I don't have my I don't have it here with me. I'm a private chef, so actually I'm cooking for my client while I'm talking, so I don't have it here. Let me think. Well, maybe if you say a few things, maybe that'll jog my memory a little bit, and I can kick in. How about that?
Okay. Did the person explain to you about the hope to pain wave?
Oh, no. No, they didn't. You know what? They didn't. They gave me a very detailed report. I have a 25-page, maybe 30-page report, but they did not break any of that down to me. I've been learning that part of it on my own.
Oh, okay.
So no, they did not.
So did they have any type of verbal communication with you about your design?
Yes, but not a lot.
Okay.
What I need to come, I probably need to take my reading. Probably need to come to you and call you at a different time, man. And I will. That's cool.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like okay, it's like this. Everyone takes in information differently. So you have people that would do fine with getting, a 20, 30-page report and ingesting that information and getting it. But then are you aware of the fact that you're what's called a triple split definition?
Oh, no. They didn't do any of that.
No, okay. Okay, so okay, so just with that, with you being a triple split definition, you take in information completely differently than, someone who's a single definition like me. And I know you don't know what that means, but we'll get there at some point. But you being a triple split definition person, you have 3 different areas within you that it's almost like 3 different personalities that have to be fed, because you have a mental aspect of you, then you have an emotional aspect that is connected to your willpower and your drive to be able to be consistent, and then you have the aspect of you that's all about like intuition and response power and your identity and action. So having those 3 separated aspects of you, when you hear information, it's like the information has to be delivered to those 3 different personalities that you have. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So, like for instance, you know, you having a 30-page report, you'll take that in, but it'll probably be more of like that mental, logical aspect of you. And the rest, you know, as far as like your body, the other aspects of your design aren't really registering the information that's on that paper. You would need that delivered through some other type of communication. So, yeah, so it's.
Is that why I put it down the first time? Is that why I didn't get it? I read it the first time, and I didn't get it at all. But then a few months later, I picked it up, and I was like, oh, I get it. And I, like, more of it came to me, you know, so I'll just keep, you know, I definitely feel what you said.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You got really muffled. Can you repeat that?
Oh, I'm saying, which part? I said that's probably why I put it down and couldn't, because I couldn't, it was like I understood parts of it, but it wasn't clicking with me fully. And so I put it down and I went back to it. The second time I read through it, I did receive more, like I understood more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably just the mental, you know, part of it. But yeah, that's all was given. That's the only thing was given to me, like was the report, like, you know, and the basic breakdown of the different types and, you know, different things like that. Like anymore, they didn't give me any more than that.
Okay, so all right, so when it comes to the sacral response, like the and the moans and the groans and all of that, you will naturally experience that, you know, as a manifesting generator. It's just gonna be natural for you to make those noises. But when it comes to the major decisions that, you know, that you need to make in your life, those decisions are based on your solar plexus, which is your the center for emotions. And the solar plexus operates in a wave. It operates in a hope to pain wave. So you'll notice that your emotions go up to hope and then down to pain and up to hope, down. It's like a constant roller coaster. And
it sure is.
Yeah.
It is. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You freed me up with that one. You know, you kind of think you're crazy when it goes like that, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's really the first thing you need to be aware of, because that's your inner authority. So that is the area that, you know, determines what decisions are correct for you. Now, me, I'm non-emotional. So my emotions are non-existent. You know, I don't have a defined solar plexus. So the way in which I'm designed to make decisions is based on my sacral center and my spleen. So you, like, a person can ask us both the same question. I can answer that question in the moment and it be correct for me. If you answer the question in the moment, more than likely it's not correct for you. And you may have noticed that, you know, if someone asks you to, let's say, go somewhere, let's say someone says, hey, do you want to go to the movies tomorrow? And you don't you don't wait for your emotional wave to go through its up and down process. If you make that decision in the moment, you may notice that when you actually get into that activity, you're not happy about it. And that's because your emotional wave has changed positions. So it's important for you to allow yourself to feel both aspects of the hope to pain wave before you make a solid decision. So that's what's correct for you. Whereas for me, it's like I could say yes or no in a moment and it be the truth. But for you, there's no truth for you in the now. You have to really go through, you have to take your time and be patient with yourself before you know if something is truly correct for you or not.
Wow.
Do you have any memories that are being triggered by what I said in regards to you making a decision too quickly and it backfiring?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And I am a person who processes. And I mean, it's interesting, like hearing you. That's why I was kind of laughing. I mean, it's something that I kind of beat up on myself about because it's something that everybody don't understand about me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does take all of that. And I have plenty of decisions where, you know, I have made quick and ended up in some situations that have not been, you know, good for me, you know?
Exactly.
And so, yeah, so now I do respect that that's a process. You know, I haven't been able to explain it. I mean, I think that's why I was so triggered when you were like, this is what you are, because like that just takes a lot of pressure off of me. Like,
yes,
it's just how I'm built, you know?
Yes.
It's just how I'm built. And
yes.
It does. It's like, I mean, I don't want to say I'm like I am. I don't want to say, I am. I'm very, not a sensitive, like energetic, very sensitive person in that way. And so, yeah, I kind of I have to take stuff in, you know? And yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. I guess what's really interesting is that you said three, you said it's 3 centers or emotional. You said, and what were the other 2?
Well, you have, out of the 9 centers that we have as human beings in our design, you have 8 of them defined. So you're loaded, like you have a lot of power, but you have 3 splits within the way in which those defined centers connect. So you have 3 different personalities that need to be tended to through connecting with different people. So something that is very necessary for you, and I'm sure you probably do this unconsciously, is very important that you go somewhere that has a lot of people at least once or twice a week, whether it's a mall or a grocery store. Huh?
You said that is important for me?
Yes, because you being a triple split definition, and you may get this from your children, but it's important that you have different energies come in and out of your aura. And usually a triple split definition person like yourself can get that through going to a park, going to a mall, going to a grocery store, just a place where there are going to be a lot of people just walking back and forth. Not necessarily where you have to talk to everybody, but you can just be in the presence of different individuals that give you different connections. And that can also be a reason why you have 5 children, because unconsciously your design knows that it needs interactions with a lot of people. So what'll happen is, and I've noticed this with many other people, what'll happen is the body will create what it needs through children.
Wow.
So I don't know how that sounds for you, or
I mean, that's interesting. I mean, can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, that's interesting because I can, I don't know, I'm processing that.
Okay. If
Yeah, it's funny because like I have it's funny because I'm not a person who, I don't like to be around like crowds like that.
mm-hmm.
But it's funny because but I do feed off of and get a certain type of energy,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, being at parks or being around a lot of different. It feeds me. It's like an energy that I need sometimes, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
I can, okay, you blow my mind. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so okay. So how can I connect with you? Can I just email you? Like I would like to do some further classes or something. Do you offer classes? What, can I email you? What?
Yeah, absolutely. You can email me. Yeah, we'll exchange numbers through the email. And yes, I have started teaching classes.
Mm-hmm.
And what's available on my website as services, I have a whole nother set of services that I have created based on just different demands and different needs of people. So we can create whatever it is that you need. So the services that you see on my website definitely accommodate a lot of what people need. But for those that are really like serious and trying to get deep into their design, because you seem to be like really changed by this. So you're sold, you're sold on human design as being something that is really going to help you get to the next level in your life. So we can create whatever it is that you need that is custom for you. So yeah, we can talk about all of that.
Okay, but you got this thing looming over my head right now about this, that we can create, like what the body needs. That's really interesting to me. Well, I mean, I know that, but that's interesting how we could even do that in terms of children and relationships around us unconsciously,
Yeah. And Samanique, are you still on the line?
I think she might have put it on.
Yeah, I know she's dealing with the children, but
children.
Yeah, but
that blows my mind right there. That's so interesting. And about a year ago, I had started saying, I'm like, wow, it's interesting. I'm seeing how my motherhood journey, I mean, it's a part of my soul path, but like that kind of nails it, like what you said, like how because of my need, like, like I could be doing that. That's very interesting to me, And so how do you, so like all these relationships that we have around us that we've kind of created unconsciously without the human design, like how do you find like navigating in them after you kind of realize, after you learn and become aware of the human design?
Oh man, like I see a million different ways to answer that question. Well, let me say this, because when you said that, when I explained to you how your emotional wave works, you said you felt this relief. That's the first step that I noticed when people start moving into accepting themselves. There's like a sense of relief that comes over them once they find out that, oh my God, this whole time that, I felt like this part was, an issue in my life, or there was something wrong with me. And now that I know that that's just a part of my design, I feel so much better now, because now I can release that guilt or that shame or whatever. And in you doing that, and then like how you talked about, you are learning more about how to be a better mother, and learning more about your children and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
What I've noticed in my personal life, along with what I hear from other people, is that it helps you to be more realistic with with the people that you're in relationships with, to where you, like, once you know consciously what was happening unconsciously the whole time, then you can say, okay, where do we go from here? Especially like if you find yourself having like friction, or you know, you find that things aren't meshing the way that they did before, you can be more realistic and say, okay, I know what I need now. You know, like it's I have to be realistic about what is important for me to be a healthy individual, because if I'm not a healthy individual, how can I possibly be healthy in this relationship with you? So in being able to acknowledge that, it kind of puts you in a position with that other person to say, hey, you know, we have to be like adults now. You know, we have to be like serious about, is this a toxic situation, or is this something that, you know, can be repaired, or something that can move forward based on us being realistic and really acknowledging the needs of the other. So that's very difficult for a lot of people, because a lot of people come to me after they're 10, 20 years in to a marriage or some type of situation, and it's 99.9% of the time, it's only one person in a relationship that's coming to me. The other person doesn't want to have anything to do with repairing or trying to understand the needs of the other. You know, it's always like this one-sidedness. And that can be, that's when things get tricky, because if that one person sees the light and then they're looking at their partner and they're like, oh, you can't really come with me. We can't go no further than this. And especially if you're not trying to come, you know, you're not trying to get into this, which is really about getting into yourself. It kind of is that breaking point, you know, and yeah, I've definitely had some backlash being the messenger. You know, people want to shoot me and behead me for being the messenger of this information, but you know, I can't help if a person comes to me and they're ready. You know, they're ready to know themselves. You know, I have nothing to do with, you know, what they're dealing with on the other side, but it's all about, you know, what you as an individual are ready for.
Yeah, that's powerful. And that's, I mean, that happened to me, so I understand. And I mean, unfortunately, I mean, I had to let go of a 13-year relationship, but
oh, wow.
You know, I mean, I feel that I'm a better person and parent, you know what I mean, because of it, because it's difficult to operate and to parent from a unhealthy or toxic place. I mean, that's the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, you know, you're not servicing the children, you know, and that from that toxic, you know, place. You
yes.
know? So, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And, you know, I am creating something that's specifically for people who are single, because it's much easier to work with single people as opposed to people who are frustrated or stuck in their relationships and they're trying to find a way out, but you know, they just can't, it's not at that point to where they can get out. So it's much more progressive to work with people who are not obligated to another person, that is not wanting to actually be empowered with them and help them grow. So yeah, I feel like did you separate from your partner within the time frame from when I met you up till now?
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. That makes a lot of sense.
What makes sense?
Because that's probably why, you know, there was a disconnection. Because remember, me and you, we were talking about, you know, the vegan food. We were talking about some things, and it just
something.
It just disappeared. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's kind of why I was disappeared. I was that stage, and so I've moved from Atlanta. I've been here in Vegas for a little over 2 years now.
Wow.
So and I've been divorced for maybe about a little over 3 years now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess that's interesting. And
Wow.
that's interesting. My vibration has shifted.
Right.
Back.
Right.
I'm remembering my folks again.
Yeah. And it
What
was
a blessing, though, right? Ain't that a blessing? Ain't that a blessing?
yeah, and it was 3 years ago that human design came into my life. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's really, 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 really powerful. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. What were you going to ask? I think she came back on the line.
Oh, Dominique, you there?
I thought I heard her voice.
It might have been that.
Yeah. But that is interesting. 3 years. Yeah, but you know what? It blew my mind when you came across my grid. I'm like, there's more to it than just that. Because you just don't. I mean, there's a lot of people that I've met and come across on the journey, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you just don't you just don't come across people, like, especially in that kind of way.
Right.
You know, so I thought it was like, well, wow, this is quite interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
human design. I love it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sold. Because when I started seeing little synchronicities and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, there's more to this thing that I'm thinking that there is, and you know, and yeah, I just kind of started watching it, and not just watching it, I kind of started. Now that I'm aware of it, I feel that I'm navigating and guiding my life differently,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm about to cry. I do that. Like, shift has really been happening since I've tapped into the knowledge of the human design, and not just the knowledge of it, but like really paying attention to and slowing down,
Yes.
and really paying attention to it in my life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like, I mean, just major shift with myself, major shift with my children. I mean, just everything, you know, just everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely tapped into your energy, and you having the type of activations that you have. Yeah, like I can feel it. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's your energy. Your energy is so much lighter from when we were in Atlanta in 2012, because I remember.
Oh yeah.
I just remember like all of the releasing that you did there. Like you were clearly coming to that closing point, you know, and I just, it's all coming back like as we're talking, but you were coming to that close of that phase. And, yeah, I just remember how, you know, when you were getting your hair cut and we were all standing around you. And
oh, I remember that. You're bringing back my memory. Wow.
Yeah, and you were just you were crying. You were just letting it go as you were getting your hair cut, you know. It was powerful. It was powerful.
Wow. Is she still around?
I haven't talked to Miss Eva since last year.
Miss Eva, that was it. That was powerful. Wow.
Yeah, but she's in Kentucky.
I forgot all about that. I forgot I remembered the experience, but I forgot about. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Because now that you got me thinking that, I'm like, wow, I bet you that was part of my my activation, you know, like starting to get my strength back.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it was.
releasing some of that outward attachment and, you know, all that good stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And I am lighter, you know, a lot, you know, lighter. I have not a lot of disease, you know, in the lamp, but it was just a lot of attachments and things that were holding on. I think that's what the spirit had me move, because I wasn't planning on moving especially to the West Coast. Like, was not on my agenda. But I'm going to tell you one thing: this area right here has been one of the most spiritual healing areas that I have ever been to in my life.
Wow.
I mean, it's been a interesting journey that I know that I was just here specifically for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things, you know, on my path that I have been exposed to, you know, to heal me. I don't even think that I would have been exposed to them in Georgia, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been real powerful. It's been very powerful.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where are you living? You're in Vegas?
Yeah, I moved to Vegas about 3 years ago. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yes. Please, yes. Very, very, very healing. Crazy. Like when I moved here, I looked something up online and I found this article where Deepak Chopra said that Vegas was one of the most spiritual cities. And I'm like, okay, well, why would he say that? And I mean, I'm telling you, it's been like, I mean, just something about being close to the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been really, it's been a real, it's been easy living and a very healing experience for me. Let me just say that. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I probably could do a human design commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know why more people aren't, you know, just, doing it. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, it's nothing like, I don't know, it's one of the few tools that I've been able to find interesting, because on my path, I got certified a few years ago. I do Akashic Records. And, but I don't know, the human design for me is just a very accurate. I mean, it's just very, very, just very accurate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Now that, who just asked that I live in Las Vegas? Was that her back on the line?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, yay. She had a question for you a while ago. Oh, I forgot what.
Yes, Dominique, I was telling Tracy how the activations, the things within our actual blueprint I've noticed that our genetic blueprint will unconsciously like create what it needs to fulfill the energies that we have. And I was saying for Tracy, with her being a triple split definition and needing to have connections with different types of auras, I feel that her body created what it needed by producing 5 children. And I thought about you as well, because you having a channel of preservation, and that channel being specifically about, you know, the children, and being about instilling values, morals, and ideals, and raising children into healthy adults. I feel that, you know, unconsciously, that's what happened with you as well. Sorry for the sirens. Yeah, but yeah, I just feel like that. I don't know, like it just the way things happen, you know, in our lives aren't always pleasant, and you know, do seem to leave, you know, like a streak of issues. But when you really look at the foundation of it, it's like you can kind of see how it had to happen like that. You know, you can just always like get right back to the root and see like, dang, even though it happened in like a crazy way, my design produced this, you know, my genetic code produced this particular situation, you know.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, because everything that I'm aware of in my chart, yeah, it has played out some type of way, in some form or fashion in my life at some point. Somewhere or another, I can relate it in line.
Oh, we have Tish Maven in the chat room. Hey Tish, thanks for joining. Sorry guys, I have not looked at the at the chat in a minute, but for anyone else who's listening in, feel free to type in the chat, or if you like to call in and join the conversation, feel free.
Tracy, what are you watching?
That's not me.
Or is that somebody whistling? Oh.
Yeah, I heard that too. I was like, is that one of the children?
No, they're in the bed.
Oh.
So we figured you put them in the bed.
Yeah, turn down time, for sure. No.
So Tracy, do all of your sons live with you?
Well, 2 of them are grown, and actually, you know, did I tell you they're all boys?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So no, they're younger than the younger 3 are with their dad.
Oh, so you got your own space, and you. Wow.
No, I know. How does that happen? Because that would not have been my view of it. Yeah. That's just kind of how it. Yeah, and I'm, you know, they're boys. I mean, so it was hard, you know, for me. But they're boys, and their father, he wanted to raise them and participate in their life, and you know, I mean, that offer doesn't come by often.
Right.
So, you know, and more than that, I understand the importance of it, you know, and I understand the importance of it, you know, and it was difficult. Like, I wanted to be selfish and not comply to it, and I did not comply to it the first year, but, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's just, it's been very interesting, and even that is interesting, because I stuck to the plan, and because I just went ahead and been focusing on myself and, you know, following the human design. Like, even with that, like, you know, my divorce wasn't easy or friendly at first, but I mean, we have a very, 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 very good relationship. I mean, he's my friend, you know, now, and I mean, I attribute it to me being able to take the time for me to know me, because I really did not know. You know, I mean, you know, married for 13 years, relationships all of my life, you know, 5 children. I mean, you know, you don't get a chance and opportunity. I mean, you're in service to everything, everybody around you, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it really has changed everything. And, I mean, the boys are great. And it's great because he works for the airline, so I did get to see them usually once a month.
Okay.
So, yeah, and we have, you know, good relationships. Like, they're doing really, really good. And, you know, I mean, I'm glad they're being parented, you know, by their father, you know, because I feel like young men need their fathers in their lives, you know. So,
right.
You know, very, yeah, it's been, yeah. So, yeah, I'm here by myself.
Wow. That's amazing. Like that. Wow. That is, I'm almost over here shocked, because I've noticed that there's a pattern, because I do have a lot of people who are in their 40s and 50s and sometimes even older than that come to me, and it's almost like there's this pattern that I notice with humans, and it's like in the younger years, you know, we get caught up with, you know, friends or relationships, and then, you know, we kind of get stuck with people that we really don't want to hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
So we get stuck with in situations and with people that we really don't want to be stuck with. And what happens is the body yearns for so long to just get some space to breathe. And then by the time that people get into their 40s and 50s, their bodies have somehow navigated into its own space. And that's when people actually are in a position to say, hey, I want to know about myself, or what am I supposed to be doing, or what's my life purpose? It's like that's the pattern. And it's just amazing because we're never taught how to be able to have relationships within our 20s or 30s to where we can grow with the person and still have our space, still have, our needs met, to where we're not getting to the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and now we're scrambling to figure it out before we transition. It's just,
yeah, that's true.
It's so interesting, like how that pattern, just is constant. Like it's a constant thing that I see with people. And I wonder, matter of fact, I'll ask you this. Did you notice that it was hard for you to like feel I know with 5 boys that's a lot in itself, but did you sleep in the same bed with your husband?
You mean prior to our divorcing?
Right.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Okay.
We weren't physical, but we did still sleep in the same bed. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you notice a difference within your energy and in like your awareness once you started sleeping in your own aura?
I would say yes. You know what? When you answer that question, no, we weren't necessarily sleeping in the same bed. I mean, I would say he was probably sleeping, in a different room. But yes, I did notice a difference when I would sleep in my own aura. Yes, I did. And I think that sleeping in my own aura started to give me the strength, like to do little stuff. Like, I remember the first thing that I started doing when I started feeling the shift that you were just describing, like I started writing down I am affirmations and putting on my side of the wall. Like not just to put them on my side, but like that's just where they were, and then I started doing stuff like going out in nature more, just things that I needed to do, like to kind of connect. And as I started doing those things, like when I go back and think about it, like that's when I would get like certain messages, like in almost signs. Like, I mean, like for example, at the end part of the divorce, when it kind of was getting ugly, I forgot what happened, but something happened where he decided that he wasn't going to help me, like find a place to stay and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And this is interesting because I didn't know about the human design at this time, but that's when signs and stuff started coming to me. Like, for example, like the first sign that came to me, I was on I'm trying to figure it out. The person who was going to help me, like, get the place, they were a friend of his, so they said, nope, we're not going to help you. I'm like, okay. So I go to the gym, I'm over on the treadmill, and I guess a sign comes to me, like a message, and it says, remember that place you drove by, like, last week? Go by there. I went by there, got off the treadmill, went by there, 1 apartment left, free, no rent, and I got it. It was crazy. It wasn't a place that I had looked at before, none of that. But that's when I kind of started like, okay, wow, like just following kind of messages and stuff that I would get. I mean, the same thing, like with shipping my boxes here. Like I went, someone told me to go down to Greyhound. I got my boxes priced. The guy said it would be like about $2,000, $3,000 to send them. I'm like, oh my God. And he's laughing at me because he knew that I didn't have an idea of how much it was. And I mean, I don't know how or what, but he ticked all those boxes here for me for like $600. And so it was like, wow, like different signs, like the universe kept kind of pulling me and giving me, you know, different signs. So it's interesting how the human design was like even kind of showing up in my life, you know what I mean? And I was following it, but I didn't know what I was doing, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, didn't know what I was doing.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, but yeah, the oral question, yeah, I did feel different. And I mean, I understand for people, like, how it can be hard, but I don't know, like, I'm one of those people who are kind of more so feel like, okay, yeah, it's hard, and it has been hard. However, it hasn't been harder than, like, living in a life that is yours, but is not yours.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You know, like, or living an authentic life, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nobody else? Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
So that is some battered shiitake mushrooms frying, if that's what you hear. If you're wondering what that noise is.
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear it, but I'm just processing your stories.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you really had some great experiences with human design. That's beautiful. Like, I don't even know what else to say. That's great. It's so great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it really is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tracy, how were you led to the Akashic Records? I don't know if you told Athea that already, but how did you get into the Akashic Records?
Well, during the same time that we were talking about just now, I realized that I had a hard time, like, standing in my voice and in my truth, you know, and in the process of releasing, you know, the relationship. And I came across a young lady, actually, and I joined, like, an online group of hers that was called Soul Sessions, and we would all come together, and she would do a reading from the Akashic Records and give us guidance and, you know, so on and et cetera. And it was always so spot on that I decided to go further with it. So I did all 3 levels, and I've utilized it as a tool to, you know, help me navigate through a lot of my self-limiting beliefs and stuff that I was hanging on to, and, you know, like being hard to stand in my voice and opening up my throat chakra and, you know, different things like that. So, yeah, I just continued to, you know, pursue it. And I just found that it's one of those things to me that, I don't know, I find that some people have a hard time understanding it because it's not fortune telling. It's not, you know, people want you, like, to read their palms and tell you their sweet future, you know. I think, right, you were talking about that a little earlier. And it's not that. I mean, it's really not that, you know. So that's how I came across it. And so, yeah, I guess I've been doing Akashic Records now for about 3 years, because before I left Atlanta. Yeah. So I use them now a lot in my coaching business. I have a coaching business. I kind of put that on the side right now because my main priority, but my private chef is my main bread and butter. But I do have to do health coaching and some other, you know, things, health coaching and some energy work. So that's what I'm kind of pulling all, you know, together. But the private chef, you know, here, you know, just has allowed me to provide a living, you know, for myself, which is good. Yep. Akashic Records. Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. Wow.
So you're a private chef. Are you good with vegetarian meals?
I am a private vegan chef. How about that?
Ooh,
so I am better than good. How about that?
All
Yeah,
right.
I've been doing it for a long
I need to talk to you.
yeah, I've been a private chef. No, I've been a chef for probably a little over 20 years. You know, so yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I've been blessed where, like, here, I have a couple of clients, and that's like a full-time income, you know, for me. So yeah, I'm pretty good, and that's what I want to share. Like, that's one of my gifts that I love, you know, to share, you know, with people. And my master has been cooking for kids and families, you know, because one of my things that's been with my children is that I never want them to feel deprived, you know, of not having. So, yeah, it's like all the sweets and the baked goods, and like I know how I'll do all that dairy list and all the stuff that kids and families love. Like, I've just made it my business to learn how to do it all, you know, without the meat and the dairy. Yeah. Yeah, cheesecake, vegan cheesecake is my specialty right now.
Oh my God. I need to try it.
Yeah. Yes.
And you can make a vegan cheesecake? What? Oh my God.
Ask my client. He told, after I made him the vegan cheesecake, he was like, you're never going anywhere. I'm like, okay. No problem.
Oh man, I can imagine. You know how hard it is. No, I'm in Chicago. It's very difficult to find anything that remotely tastes like cheese and bacon. I would say those are the hardest things to replicate as a vegan. If you can make something taste just like cheese or bacon, oh my God, yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere either. I don't blame them.
Yeah, well, if I ever in that Chicago area, then we'll have to hook up.
Yes, indeed. And if I'm ever out there, I'm going to call you.
Oh, please do. Please do. You ladies are welcome anytime. Anytime. Yep.
Thank you. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Your energy is definitely very balanced from what I can tell. And it makes sense as to why, you know, you're really living as yourself, you know, and it's like a sense of freedom that's just coming out of you as the frequency, you know.
But it's funny, that's to me, like, that's really what the human design has done, is it's helped me come into alignment. Yes. You know, because, you know, a lot of people are online doing different businesses and so on, and but, like, I noticed, like, with Facebook, like, one of the things that I didn't want to do, like, I didn't want to be projecting something that I'm really not living and doing every single day. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's too hard. Like, it's, that's another job trying to do that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many people do it, yeah.
Oh, my God, so many people do it. And I really learned that and saw that when I was here. I'm like, wow, like, it's so interesting how, you know, it's like this Facebook thing and Instagram has almost kind of like become a game, you know?
It really drives people. It drives their life all day, every day.
It really does. It really does. And that was one of the things I said, you know what, I really want to come into alignment. Like, I know I'm not just identified by the mother that I am or the wife that I was, or, you know what I mean? Or just the good. I mean, there's these other great qualities, you know, that I feel that we as women or human beings should be able to, what do you want to say, integrate into our lives and be able to project in a very healthy and authentic way. So that really, the last year and a half has just been my thing. Like, it's just that everything that I do every single day is just transparency of who I am. So yeah, and I attribute that to the human design, like being able to making me comfortable with learning, like, who I am, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just really, and then it's guiding me. So then the things that I get involved with are, you know, like, true and authentic to that, you know? So I'm building from that stage and from that position, and just really watching everything else, like, come into alignment. So it's kind of cool, like, the new people that I see coming into my space now, like, even being reconnected here. I'm like, okay, wow. how are we about to play together? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What we about to do?
Right. Right, because it happens for a reason.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. I don't even know what else to say. I'm just feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Did you look online? Did anybody post anything?
Nah, I think the people that are watching, I think they're listening in. But if there's anybody that wants to type in the chat or call in, feel free. Feel free.
Well, I have a question, a topic of kind of what's going on, like with the things that are going on, like globally, collectively. Like, do you? Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's really a good question. You know, I find that even still, like, there are, like, especially more so women, I would say, like, still kind of hiding, like, from, like, the truth of who they are and kind of scared, like, to show up, you know, in the world. And, you know, for various reasons, cultural, you know, reasons, collective, you know, reasons. And, like, do you see, like, that shifting? Like, do you see it? Yeah, do you see that shifting?
I see a planetary shift in that, but it's playing out in a lot of different ways because it's based on the level of consciousness of each person that's experiencing the shift. So, for instance, you could have, you know, 100 different people that's standing in an ocean, and a big wave is coming, and everybody is about to get hit with this wave. But there are going to be certain people that know how to position themselves to get hit with the wave, but not be completely dismantled. And then you're going to have other people that panic and, you know, that really experience devastation. Like, each person is going to experience the different waves of these changes based on wherever they're at. And what I'm noticing is that, you know, there are people that when they get hit with this particular wave, it's like they snap out of, you know, whatever the setbacks were, or whatever the things were that were keeping them stuck. It's like the wave snaps them out of it. Then you have other people that they, you know, it's almost like when they get hit with the wave, they kind of like go crazy. You know, they don't know which way to go. So they're just, you know, because they're being disconnected from everything that they knew. So, and they don't know how to really get back on their feet. So I just see this, you know, in many different areas of life, but especially when it comes to women really stepping into who they are. It's like you see this empowerment that's coming forward, but it's just so many categories of it. And some levels of, like, a person may feel themselves becoming more empowered, but on a frequency, when it comes to the frequency that their version of empowerment is, it could still be something that is ultimately more detrimental for them. But they see it as a level of being empowered. So it, you know, it's happening, but you know, it still comes back to the individual and where you're at, and are you able to recognize, you know, everything else that's going on around you, but still stay grounded in yourself and still make sure that you put your own growth and expansion first.
That's interesting because that's a hard one for a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
Put your own growth and expansion first.
Yeah, it's something that we've never really been taught. No, I can't think of. I really can't. I know it's people out there, but I can't think of anyone who can honestly say that their parents or the first teachers in their lives taught them to, you know, put themselves first or to follow what, you know, their uniqueness and their individuality. You know, we're automatically, you know, forced into other people's programs, starting with our parents. And yeah.
And just like as a, what do you want to call it, as a culture. I mean, like when I was thinking about, you know, like the whole thing, you know, with my children, like one of the hardest things was like in our culture, like the woman just kind of always struggles with the kids, you know? I mean, that's just kind of what you do, you know, like you don't just say, okay, well, my healing is important. Let me do that. You don't, you know, somebody look at you side-eyed if you said that, you know?
Yeah.
So it is, right, you're right. It's nothing that we're really taught, you know, to do. Mm-hmm. So true.
Yeah.
So, Tracy, do you find that you're connecting with a lot of people there on a spiritual level? Like, are you able to connect spiritually with people there?
Some, yes. Yes. Let me see.
Well, are you pretty much like a loner? You kind of stick to yourself?
No, I'm not. I really want, you know, that. You know, it's just different, you know, because, you know, Atlanta has more people of color, you know, and so I'm finding that it's just different, like here, like in terms of, you still got people of color, but it's just different. It's like the people of color here are almost kind of behind times. It's very different. So yes, I have met some people, you know, in the community, but I'm just always out there, you know, looking to meet more. They just had a young lady just opened up an African American bookstore. So actually, I'm going to go by there this weekend. I think Young Pharaoh or somebody is going to be speaking there. He's a gentleman from off YouTube. So he's very informational. I kind of pulled his YouTube up. Real good information. Very good information. Powerful information. And so it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming. But no, I'm not a loner. I'm, you know, out there, you know, making relationships. And I have, you know, met some people. But I think just me now knowing, like, how I kind of deal with people and just watching it differently than I did before, and, you know, creating these new relationships, everything. Right. But yeah, it's definitely here. Mm-hmm. Definitely here. Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel like, you know, when trying to connect with people, you definitely gotta, you know, kind of go out of your, you know, like your molding and your past comfort zones of, you know, places that you would typically go to. Because it just seems like for me, now that I know what I know, these places, like, let's say the club or, you know, like a certain hangout spot that you would frequent in the past, it seems like they all like they feel so empty now. when you have you feel like you have so much more meaning when you understand your design and when you're trying to, you know, dig deeper into who you are.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very, very true. Yep, I'm finding the same thing. So that's the great thing, I guess, about like, you know, the internet. Like, I mean, you know, here we are. I got some new friends. I got some new friends.
Yeah, I got me a new friend with some recipes. You know? Great.
I mean, that's a blessing.
It truly is. Tracy up.
Absolutely. You'll probably get tired of me. You'll be like, oh my God, here she come with another recipe. Here she come with another recipe. Yeah.
I doubt it. With the way my appetite is set up.
Right.
And you have two children?
Yep. I got a little boy and a little girl. Yep.
So you one of those who give one of each. I tried.
Girl, they were kind of throwing my way. They neither one of them were playing, but here they are, and here I am. We're making it.
That's right.
So just so happened it was one of each. So I'll take it and I'm done.
And you good, huh?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I always laugh when I see that. I'm like, you know what? Everybody else, but here I am. But now I understand. I don't have to be mad at myself. It was only my human design.
For real.
That's funny. Now, well, how old is your youngest child, your baby?
He just turned 9.
He just turned 9, you said?
He just turned 9. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. But he's the oldest spiritually out of them all, because when he was 5, he told me that he was not, like, I was not his first parent. I was doing like one of those mommy mushy moments, and he was like, you know, I got another mother. I'm like, really? He was like, yeah.
Wow.
So what happened?
Oh my God! Yeah, tell me about that.
He said they lost me in a car in an accident. I said they did, and he said yes. And I said, well, what was your mom's name? And it was interesting because it was at a time in my life where I wasn't connected with my mom at that time, and I am now, thank goodness. And he said her name was Mother Mary. And he didn't know, like, my mom's name or anything at all at that time. You know, he's little. He was only like, but yeah, I mean, he just told me that I wasn't his first experience. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. But it gave me a different
perspective. What about that conversation? Like, how did he all mushy.
I was just having I was having a mother mushy moment, like, you know, come here. He was like, you know, you're not my only mother. I'm like, oh, no, I didn't know that. I said, really? And he said, no. And I said, well, what happened? He said they lost me in an accident. And I said, oh, okay. All right. I mean, I understand. I mean, that's what brought it about, you know. So I always say he's my youngest, but it's true because he's the one who will say, like, I'm having like little stuff with my 13-year-old. The youngest one will come to me and say, you know what, you handled that very good. I'm like, okay, really?
Giving you the test off, huh?
So yeah, I always laugh at him. I say he's my youngest, but he's my little you know, like starseed child or, you know, whatever. So when he said that to me, I mean, I didn't, you know, I just thought it was interesting, you know, that he even, you know, will come up with that. But, you know, I think children know. I think they know.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. I don't know what to say.
Right. I'm like, really? I'm not.
I thought I was. Right.
Yeah, because that was intriguing, right?
That is so, man.
Mm-hmm. How old are yours? How old are your children?
My little boy is 8 and my little girl is 2.
Oh, you got a little baby girl.
Yeah, they little babies. Yep. Yep, it should be 3 next month.
Oh, awesome. So have you been working with their human designs too?
Yeah, well, I have their charts. Yeah, I'm aware of what kind of people they are, what kind of profiles they have, and they, I mean, they're playing it out for sure. But it's interesting. It's interesting to know now and to be able to watch them develop. And see what's gonna become of them. Because I mean, ideally, what I want to do is allow them to live out their designs as much as possible. But I mean, it becomes a challenge because with the way that the world is now, I mean, it's almost like you can't help but to condition them to be a certain type of way because you want to protect them from a lot of things that's going on too. So. It's challenging because, they are younger. They're so much younger. And just, trying to, I guess, let them be who they are, but shield them and let them run free at the same time. It is a little challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Yeah.
So, oh my God, this world is so testy right now with everything. Everyone is very testy.
Yeah, it really is. And it is like just knowing like the types of my older boys, like it helps me understand them and some of the challenges that they have to go through, and just it kind of put me in a just in a different position in terms of being able to help them, navigate through some of the challenges that they're going through until they begin to understand, their designs,
Yeah, now do you find since you have 5 boys, do any of them have the same design?
No, but one, my 21-year-old, he has the same design as I do.
Really? Okay.
Now that I found very, very interesting. Yeah.
Do you see similarities in him?
Absolutely, yes. Yes, I do. It will be interesting now since she was telling me earlier, I think you had stepped out to put the children down, but she was telling me about that's not the word that she used, but your centers that are
defined.
That's the word she used for it. Yes, that are defined. So it'll be interesting to see where he's defined at, but I definitely see things that are, and it's interesting, like this last year, since I have gotten more familiar with human design, his and I relationship, like he's my rock. He's my rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
God, I'm about to cry. Like we have gotten so close.
Oh, that's
so
good. That's
good.
Yeah.
We've really gotten close. So I think that's a really good, and I think it's good because, like, as I'm learning, I'll just be able to help him, navigate. I think it's I'll be able to help him navigate and understand, more. So that's good.
Right. Man, that's look, it's beautiful. See that human design is really impacting you and your family like that. That's great.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, navigating my life and just just showing me the truth of who I am, which is what we all desire. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna hold you, ladies. I know you're gonna. Are you guys? Will you be on? Are you here on every week on this line, or just whenever you feel?
Well, I do want to. I want to do more of these, and people have been requesting. So I want to have more, like a more regular live stream. Yeah, I just got to work my way into getting better with, maybe like having them scheduled because they've been more spontaneous. But I do want, because people are always saying, oh, I missed it. I didn't know that you went live. And so I want to give more people the opportunity to get on and use this platform to meet people and talk, and just like how you and Samanique are dialoguing. I know that's needed, and a lot of people want to have those experiences. So I guess the more momentum that we build, like with you and Samanique and more people that reach out. I know we had Erica on. We can just see where the energy takes us, but I am gonna try to make this, more regular.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have a space, to talk about like what's going on, what's coming up.
Yes.
So now that I know, the format, then, I'll just come with what I reckon, what I see, going on as well,
Yeah. Would you mind sending me your phone number on through the email?
No, I'm going to send it to you as soon as I hang up. I'll go ahead and get you to send my phone number, and you have my email already, but I'll send you my phone number so that we can connect. Okay, perfect.
And
I'll look on your website and everything tomorrow, and then hopefully we can talk in, next few days and see what we can put together.
Okay, all right, that's perfect. That sounds good.
Dominique?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, the holidays are coming up, so let me know what recipes you need.
Girl, look, forget the holidays. I'm going to be sending you an email about tomorrow for dinner.
Okay, all right, that's cool. It's such a pleasure to meet you as well.
It is, and I thank you for the opportunity to talk. Yep.
Okay, well, I am about to disconnect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Take care. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Samanique, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, do you have to work tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to get ready to shut it down, too.
Okay.
I took me a Benadryl. I've been anxious the last 2 nights. So I'm going to get me some sleep tonight.
Yeah, I feel you. I know you're going to need it for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but we got some catching up to do, too. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm glad you came on and added on to the energy of the conversation. I'm gonna do this again. Hopefully, like within the next week. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, give me a heads up. I don't know why I didn't get to notice tonight, but give me a heads up. Even if you just send me a message, let me know that you getting ready to start, because I did not get a message at all tonight.
Oh, okay. Do you have to click that bell? Because I hear people saying, make sure you click the bell to get notifications. I still gotta catch up with the YouTuber stuff, but is that?
I already got all of that. Already activated for your channel. I got the notification earlier when you went live, but this evening I didn't get any notification for some reason.
Okay, so do you have to? Does a person have to click the bell in order to get notifications?
Yeah, I believe they do.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
There's something else on here. It's like you can click the bell to just get like sporadic notifications, and then you can also click it to get every notification of that subscriber. So I have you on for every notification. So I don't really understand how I didn't get notified tonight, but it somehow, some way the ball got dropped. So thank God I just decided to call you back, because I would have known anything was going on.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll, if I have something, if I decide to schedule a live stream, maybe I'll just put out like a real short video and maybe alert people. I don't know. I don't know, but we'll just go with the flow of it and see what happens. But yeah, but I'm glad you got on regardless. So
No problem. Yeah, we're gonna keep the energy going.
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll let you go, and I don't see any more activity in the chat room. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any more activity. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead for everyone that's watching. Thank you all. Thank you, Erica and Tracy and Tish. Tish, I didn't, I don't know if you wanted to say anything else, but I don't even know if you're still on. But thank you for joining, and for everyone else that tuned in and watched and listened. Yeah, I will be doing this again sooner than later. Yeah, so everyone have a good night. And yeah, if you all have any questions or any topics that you want to talk about in the next live stream, feel free to email me, or maybe leave a comment under this video when it posts. And yeah, we'll keep it moving.
All right.
All right. So
Peace out, more love.
all right. I'll talk to you later, Dominique. All right. All right. Good night, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. If you wanted to leave a comment and I missed you, just go ahead and leave it in the comment section at the bottom of the video.